podcast party. Descent into Avernus.
My name is Renascence. Elturel is in hell, and so are we. We've learned that the secret to saving the city might lie with Grand Duke Ulder Ravengard. He was last seen in the city cemetery, looking for an artifact called the Helm of Torm's Sight. Before we head out to find him, we're searching the catacombs under Hahlo for anything that might help us.
I feel like if we leave this area heading west, the first thing we're going to come to is that conference hall place, like the round table.
Right.
And then after that is the room where Ofelia found the healing potion.
Correct.
And then we haven't really been any further west than that. So maybe we should just keep going that way.
Sure.
All right.
Yeah, that's fine with me.
And we'll bring Reya and Lulu.
Sounds good. Lulu wants to come, right? With us.
Oh yeah, Lulu says goodbye to the masses of adoring fans that she has back in the catacombs. Mostly children, to be perfectly honest. And to sort of give them a little trunk tap on the head and says, "I'll be back, folks. Don't worry, this is the last you heard of Lulu." And then she waves with her trunk goodbye.
Okay, so we're passing the room with the long knight's table that's north of us, and we're keep going west. South of us now is the room that Corbin was talking about that has the crypt of the lady who killed the dragon with a sword.
Correct.
Well, should we go sneaky?
Yeah, why not?
Ren, you're clunking along.
Yeah, I mean, I'll do my best.
And he's narrating exactly, so that's why, he's like, "This is the room.
I'm trying to paint
This
a
is the other
picture.
room."
No, it's not for you. It's for the people, the poor people that can't see anything.
You don't have to narrate, Ren. We know where we're going.
Are you trying to suggest there are just people listening to
It helps
us?
him to talk to these people. Just let him talk to the pretend people.
The myth of the unseen observer and that. But yeah, I do.
Ophelia, keep up.
I do think we should stealth.
Yes.
I'm going to give myself some guidance for that.
Okay.
Hylan got a 26.
Oof. She disappears into the wall.
She rolls sneaky.
Reya gets guidance too.
Ophelia rolled a 25.
Wow.
Corbin rolled a 13.
Okay.
With guidance, Renascence got an 8.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, Ren.
See, he was narrating the whole time.
Well, I have disadvantage because of my arm.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Okay.
Reya got, with disadvantage, she got an 18 still.
Wow.
Good job, Reya.
And Lulu is flying, so I'm going to give her advantage just because she's flap, 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 and she doesn't go clunk, clunk, clunk. Oh, God. She got a 7.
Oh, no.
She bumps into Renascence, and you just hear like a trumpet sound that comes out of her trunk.
Matt, I swear to God, if you let anything bad happen to Lulu, I will quit the podcast.
It wouldn't be me that does it. Well,
It's the dice.
you move relatively quietly, except for the sort of little bloop from Lulu and a little clunk clunk from Renascence. And you move into this room, which does seem to be some kind of a vault. You see that it is semicircular in nature, has a set of stairs going north. You do see that it has almost like a drawers, like a mausoleum. There are insets in each of these walls, and they are all with names in common. These are people most likely, based on the reverence granted to them by these places, that were most likely hell riders or people of high status within Elturel. There's a staircase that goes north, and then there is a hallway that moves south.
Some steps to the north?
Yeah, I've gone up the steps to the north. It looks like a dead end.
Hylan, you move up to the north past the steps. You do see that these are some kind of recessed mausoleums. You see that these seem to be a little bit less high standing than the people in the area to the south of you. These are most likely perhaps priests or soldiers, dedicated servants of Elturel, politicians perhaps, local politicians. They are in stone coffins with names inscribed on their side, but certainly not given the grandeur of the resting places of those entombed to the south of you.
So strange to keep dividing people by wealth after they're dead.
Let's go back.
Okay. Shall we head south?
All right.
Okay. You move into another room. This one seems to be some kind of a temple. You see that there are semicircular alcoves which contain somewhat elaborate upright sarcophagi. Each one of them lists the name above it as High Priest this person, High Priest that person. So clearly this is reserved specifically for the High Priests of Torm.
I don't think we should disturb these sarcophagi.
No, don't bother the High Priest. Is there any place to leave like an offering or anything for these High Priests? Like an alms cup or anything like that?
Yeah, seemingly not, unfortunately. There's no altar, there's no alms cup. There is just the stone walls, the floor, these sarcophagi, and that's it. It's very sparse.
All right, let's keep moving.
I'm going to spare you guys some time here. You spend about the next half an hour searching through this space for anything of value. You do quite a lot of investigation in a variety of these different halls and tombs and catacomb-like areas. And to your dismay, although it is extremely quiet and peaceful, something desperately need, you don't find anything waiting for you in the shadows. You don't find any foes for you to defeat, and you don't find anything hidden. It is simply a tomb.
Cool.
A crypt.
And I think we're all in agreement that the sort of things we'd be looking for would be something more like what Ofelia found that seems like it didn't belong there.
Right,
Yes.
right.
We wouldn't like fuck with any of the actual like interred
No.
people or anything like that.
Okay.
In that case, I suppose we should move on.
Yeah. So back upstairs.
All right, which direction was the cemetery?
To the west of Hahlo.
All right.
Matt, I guess we will first return to, the access point that we used to get down here into the crypt, which is that statue that moved in the middle of Hahlo, and go back upstairs into the main temple.
Are there any other ways that we noticed?
No, you didn't see anything.
What I'm wondering is if there might be another way out of that temple other than going out the front doors. Because if you remember, there was like a evil knight kind of riding up and down the road in front of the temple. I would love to not meet him.
Same.
Agreed.
Oh, and there were some hellhounds, I think, too.
Yes, there were.
Yeah, we killed the
Bad
dogs.
But no, there was more
there
dogs
were more?
outside.
Yeah.
I saw them.
So since we're heading west, I'm wondering if maybe there's like a side exit out of this place.
Does Reya know?
Yeah, that's true. Reya would know.
She says, well, I mean, there is the other way, but when we came in, we saw that the whole side of Hahlo was
Missing. Yeah.
smashed into something. I don't even know what that was. It looked like something exploded or there was a giant crater there. But there is another entrance on that side of Hahlo.
Well, we know what's out the front. So I'm for taking our chances with the smashed side.
Or is it better the devils we know than the devils we don't?
Womp,
See what I did there?
Oh, I see what you did there. That was good. I like it.
Thank you.
Was it?
It wasn't.
Is there a way to de-inspire someone?
Oh my God.
Rachel told a dad joke.
Well, here's the thing. It's like I was getting a lot of flack for like really disliking puns, and it just sort of, I don't know. I don't want the fans to hate me or anything. I didn't say that I didn't enjoy doing that. I just don't want our fans to hate me, you know?
Yeah.
Insight check.
That's good.
Okay, I was a little pleased with myself. Fine, Andy.
Thank you. Tell the truth. So you have some options here, right? So you have this supposed western exit / entrance where there is a rather large crater, the front entrance where you guys have come through, as well as the upper floors where you guys actually scaled the wall at the choir level and then descended down into the actual cathedral.
Matt, what is the light situation outside? Like when we walked in here, was it bright, dark, dim? How would we describe it?
See, Andy, that's the thing about hell. It never changes. There's no day, there's no night. It's just constant grayish red skies forever. No sun, no moon.
Would you describe it as dim light?
I would describe it as...
I'm setting you up here. You know that, right?
I know what you're doing here. Yeah. God damn. Twilight clerics. I would say if you were outside on the plains of Avernus, that it would not be dim light. No.
Mm-hmm.
Inside, dim light. Sure.
So inside here, but not out on the walls.
Exactly.
Fine. All right. I was taking a shot.
That's okay.
I think Ren's right because he usually is. So let's try the rubble way first.
No harm in checking.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to take the same stealth checks that you guys had before, which was a pass, which will allow you to traverse through the main level of the cathedral quietly. Right. So you guys are on the western side of High Hall. Quietly, you move through the great cathedral to a enormous pile of rubble that has been packed into a ruined wall. You can guess that if you were to climb over this pile of rubble, you would be in that area with the crater and whatever lies beyond.
It looks like it's hard to climb through that.
Yeah.
Having climbed out into this rubble area, can we then, instead of continuing west, can we then climb through the rubble north?
Yeah.
So we're coming out on the street, but not on the greenway or whatever that, like, not on Central Park
promenade.
West, basically.
Right.
Yeah. So we're trying to avoid
that little road next to it.
Exactly. So we're trying to come out not on the Central Promenade, but on the street to the west of the Central Promenade.
Clearly, you're trying to avoid that horrendous foe on his horse.
Yes.
We could walk up the avenue, but it would eat our faces off. Like that kind of thing.
I like it.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Corbin tap dances.
Yes, the answer is yes, Tal.
Okay. So, Reya, we make our way north through the rubble here and end up on that side street. Do you think you could navigate us to the cemetery from here?
Yes, absolutely.
I look around. Does that sound like a plan?
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Sounds good to me.
Okay, so that is what we will try to do. Pick our way north through the rubble. Once we make it to the street, follow Reya's lead to the cemetery.
I'm going to need you all to make athletics checks, because this is no normal-sized pile of rubble.
Oh boy.
Who's the clunkiest of us? Like, the least athletic person?
I
Like,
don't...
if Corbin was to guess.
I have a +0 modifier.
So, Corbin, why don't you and I give guidance to Hylan and Ofelia?
All right, we'll do that.
I will give guidance to Hylan.
Ofelia, guidance. You'll climb through fine.
I hope so.
Again, super NPC Lulu will not have to make anything because she just flies through it.
Okay, Renascence on his athletics check got a 23.
Hylan with guidance from Renascence also got a 23.
Oh. It's a race to the top.
Is it though?
Corbin got a 6.
Ofelia with guidance also got a 6.
Oh my god.
So we're
Did
like,
not
hey, this
roll
isn't
well.
so bad, and then we look back.
We're just like
We're tripping over each other.
Well, unfortunately, it's a little bit worse than that for the two of you. As the two of you reach the top, with Renascence and Hylan having already climbed over and slowly picking your way down, Corbin, you reach the top. It's tough. All this armor. Ugh, man. A good thing you have long bugbear arms. And Ofelia, you're not used to this kind of level of exertion, to be perfectly honest.
It's
I mean,
true.
This is not something artists have to do, for God's
I have
sake.
musician arms.
For real. And as you crest the top, both of you, there is a crack as a piece of granite breaks underneath the both of you.
Oh, no.
And the two of you tumble to the bottom. I would like either Renascence or Hylan, you can choose, but you can only choose one person, to make a dexterity saving throw to see who you catch. You can't both catch one person.
Boy.
Are Hylan and I standing next to each other?
Yes.
Go for it, Hylan, and add a +3.
Okay. I got a 16.
Who did you try to save, Hylan?
I tried to save Ofelia, I think only because I have faith that Corbin's long arms, he would have a better chance of catching himself on the way down.
Corbin is pinwheeling and about to fall on his head.
Don't try to dissuade her, Matt. She's made her choice. She's picked her favorite person. Why would you do this?
No, I'm saying when I turn around, I see what exactly.
Hylan, don't try to make this about who's got the better chance. It's strictly about who you like more.
Mm-hmm.
Who I like more?
Yep,
well, I just spooned Ofelia all night after she screamed.
True.
So I think I would reflexively grab Ofelia just because I feel like Corbin is so big and strong.
And because she's your favorite.
100%.
Yes.
Yeah, it's cool. Hylan, you're able to reach out and grab Ofelia by the back of her cloak just as she's about to fall off the edge.
Ofelia.
Hylan.
Renaissance.
Oh, I get to do something?
You certainly can.
Oh, okay. I thought you said only one of us could do it. So I will certainly try.
Each of you. One each.
Oh, so I will certainly try to save Corbin. I will make a dexterity saving throw.
Great.
Yes, please.
Okay.
You're so good at that.
Well, he has a +3.
So it's a 4.
Oh, yeah, that's a natural 1.
Oh, God.
Oh, no.
No.
Time to get my second soul coin.
Oh, God.
No.
Oh, no. It doesn't work like that, but we're going to talk about that some other time. The look on Corbin's face is that of shock as he falls 60 feet.
Whoa.
What?
Okay, would we have tried to climb over something if we knew it was 60 feet tall?
I did not realize it was 60 feet tall. Like a sheer drop of 60 feet.
It's not that's the great thing is it's not a sheer drop.
Yeah, it's like a cave-in.
So Corbin bounces off of granite.
He falls 60 feet at a 45-degree angle.
Exactly.
I have pretty great pinball machine sound ideas.
Oh, good God. Corbin bounces off of granite. So it's 6d6 damage.
Oh my God.
No, I couldn't trust you, Hylan. I was wrong.
Jesus.
Matt did this to me.
I did. It's fine. I'm a bad person. Corbin, you take 25 bludgeoning damage as you fall.
Oh my God.
And bounce to the bottom of this crater.
Oh, shit. Oh, I'm good. Thumbs up.
The good news is that you didn't fall into the giant, ever-burning flames that are only about 20 feet from your position.
I love that.
Oh, great. So what are you complaining about?
Climbing near fire?
Yeah, why would we have done that?
Ren, this was a shit idea.
I feel like the situation was misrepresented.
I thought it was rubble on the ground, clearly. I thought it was like it caved in onto the ground and we were bouldering.
I thought it was just like a pile of pebbles, man.
But this is how it worked out, so here we are.
Here we are.
So Corbin is dying.
No, I'm all right.
Yeah, he's okay. He's okay.
Okay.
Level 6 and all, right? So
that's the fast way down.
Jeez.
Oh, my back.
Reya and Lulu also descend to your position. Lulu sort of flaps over to you and she says, "Darling, that looks like it hurts."
Lulu, is there anything you can do to help him?
Well, I got one spell left for today. I did it yesterday. I can do it again. But then I'm out.
Maybe save it.
I don't know.
I got a potion. I could drink it.
Yes, we have several potions.
Well, I don't see a potion store open in hell. So Lulu's spell comes back tomorrow and your potions don't. I'd use the spell.
All right. No problem, darling. Hold on 1 second. I'll make you feel a little bit better. And she takes her trunk and she puts it onto your face. And she sort of wraps it lovingly around your head.
Right. Well,
I don't like this. This is weird.
While that's happening, I say, Reya, remember your story about the angel that came to Avernus in the battle?
Yes?
What was that angel riding?
A mastodon?
And that's like an elephant?
Her eyes flip to Lulu.
What?
And Lulu's been to Avernus before. Do you think that something maybe, legends, things get a little bit exaggerated or lost in translation, Like a small elephant and then someone tells the story and the elephant gets a little bigger.
Wait. Hold on. Renaissance. And she sort of moves in close to you and she says, "Are you trying to tell me that Lulu she's really just a giant mastodon?
No, I think the giant mastodon in your story is really a Lulu.
But there are paintings.
But yeah,
there are
somebody
pictures and...
What if somebody shrunk Lulu?
Oh, I had been thinking of this very differently. I thought this was a case of, like, someone was being a bit of a fabulist.
Yeah.
That Lulu'd been exaggerated maybe a little bit.
But both are
But
possible.
Lulu's certainly a celestial because that's what my dreidel said she was.
What if this angel loved Lulu and didn't want to kill Lulu, but also didn't want Lulu to implicate them in any way, so they just shrunk Lulu into her adorable current state?
Yeah, I'll be honest, the shrinking Lulu thing never occurred to me.
In any case, I think that some version of this story is correct. But I don't know that it would be a good idea to tell Lulu right now. Do you?
No, but sort of worth keeping in mind, I think.
Yes.
While this conversation is going on, Lulu, far from it, is just stroking your head, Corbin. She starts to sing in a song. I'm gonna make this up on the fly.
Yes.
It's all right now, don't you cry. Lulu's here now, and I can fly. And then she just casts. You're welcome. There you go.
I wasn't crying. I didn't cry.
Well,
I just said
you did cry a bit.
Oh, there's no. Okay, it's not a. I got something in my eye.
Just a little,
Nope, it's some Avernus in my eye.
That's healthy, Corbin. That's healthy.
Nope.
And she casts Cure Wounds on you, and that helps a little bit, I would say.
I cast Dispel Toxic Masculinity on the whole
Yay!
Lord.
Yay!
I feel lighter. It's great.
Yeah, it's always a boon. That is an additional 10 hit points to you, Corbin.
Oh. All right. You'll multi-heal me, and I'll cast Healing Word at 2nd level on myself. And I get 11.
All right. What's that bring you up to?
I'm only down 4, so just a little bit.
Not bad.
Great.
All right, mostly better. Ugh.
Okay. We should continue.
All right. So, picking your way through the rubble, you exit through the crater and onto a street north of your position and heading slightly downhill.
I assume we're going to be kind of sneaky and stealthy and try to dodge in between like corners and buildings.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was kind enough to give you the stealth roll from before. Go ahead and make another one for the rest of your traversing to the cemetery.
Okay.
Reya gets guidance.
I am going to give guidance to myself as well.
Hylan got a 24.
Ofelia also got a 24.
Yes.
We're in sig today.
Corbin got an 11.
Okay. Yeah, for once, Renascence got an 18 with guidance.
All right.
You want to hit Reya with that guidance as well, please, Corbin?
He gets 4.
Reya got a 17 on her stealth check.
All right.
Yeah, you move quietly through the city streets, and you find a little alleyway that you can go west, and all the while the streets are, in fact, heading downhill. Based on the map that you have, you sort of see the most expedient way to the Grand Cemetery, which is to basically take a switchback road. There are certainly some fiendish forces that are on the streets, and you're able to evade them. There are spined devils with hordes of little impish minions that follow in their wake, screaming and chittering through the streets. You see another one of those riders, those rather imposing hellish riders that clops its way slowly through another street. Eventually, you make your way to this switchback road that brings you within sight, directly to the west of you, an enormous cemetery that seems to be about a mile from your position. Now, beyond the cemetery, you see the edge of the city. You see that there is an enormous wall that encircles Elturel. Beyond the wall, there is a strange, dark, metallic edifice. Looks like a giant metallic post with strange hooks and extrusions coming out of it. And attached to that post is an enormous spiked chain. which is seemingly somehow attached to the city itself, and what is most likely dragging it downward into the river Styx.
Whoa, Ren, look at that. You see that chain?
See it.
You think we could break it?
I don't know, Corbin.
You look south, you look north, you look northwest. There are, to your abject horror, multiple metallic posts that are building-sized with giant chains linking off of them. In order to pull a city of this size down into the reaches of the River Styx, there's going to be a lot of chain snapping needed.
I think, Corbin, the chains, it's not just about the physical chains, you know? You remember that book that they had? Everyone signed it. They're all bound here because of what Thavius Krieg did. It's not about breaking those physical chains necessarily. It's about undoing the deal that Krieg made. We've got to find a loophole or some way to undo it.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. All right. Just thinking like a bugbear, you know, you go and smash it. And
yeah. I look up. Like, what do we see when we look above the city?
You see what you could have probably at one time called the Companion. This enormous orb that, since the city's descent into hell, has turned jet black and is arcing giant bolts of electrical energy to various points in the city.
Well, it's a lot to take in, but I think we just got to proceed with the lead we have, which is to find Ulder Ravengard and this Helm of Torm's site.
I agree.
So we will just continue to head towards the cemetery.
You are able to move down this road and move between the buildings all the way to the cemetery itself.
Amazing.
Come within about 2 blocks from the cemetery. I'd like you all to make perception checks, please.
Corbin rolled a 12.
Renascence got a 5.
Hylan rolled a 14.
Ofelia rolled a 7.
The cemetery has a 10-foot-high brass fence that seems to have fallen, actually, in numerous places, which could potentially allow you a way in. You also see a wide gate allowing access to the grounds, but that gate has been torn from its hinges. Hylan, with the highest perception check amongst the 4 of you. Atop the fence posts, you see that there are severed body parts on the spikes, and some of them wriggle and writhe with some kind of hellish or perhaps undead energies. They seem to twitch almost in concert with the lightning flashes of the Companion. From your position, you see that there are cracked gravestones and crumbling monuments scattered throughout the cemetery grounds. And at the center of the cemetery, you see a chapel. Make religion checks, please.
Corbin rolled a crit fail and a 4.
Good job, cleric.
Dirty 20 for Renascence.
Ofelia rolled a 9.
Hylan got an 8.
Renascence, you see that there are symbols on this chapel that you recognize as the symbol of Lathander, another symbol, which obviously is prevalent throughout all of Elturel, the symbol of Torm, the symbol of the god Helm, as well as the symbol of the god Tyr.
Lot of markings of good gods throughout that chapel. You remember that the bridge we crossed and the altar inside High Hall, those places were sacred to Torm, and they still worked somehow, you know? Like they were still holy. If we're in luck, maybe some of these gods might still be able to help us in the cemetery as well.
Almost as if the place itself could hear you, the chapel glows with a fetid purple radiance.
That looked nice. Hi, everybody. The show will be back shortly for the second half. Hey, have you ever wanted to discover a fence covered in wriggling body parts, just like our heroes did in this episode? Well, our professional dungeon masters are available to hire for online games. Check us out at cast-party.com and follow us on Facebook
at CastPartyDND, on Twitter at CastParty2, or on Instagram at cast_party. We have games for kids as well as adults. The kids' games won't have wriggling body parts on fences. As always, we're offering monthly free online adventures with our Dungeon Masters. These free games fill up quickly, so if you'd like to grab a spot, you should join our email list or our Discord server. Links to both can be found at cast-party.com. If you enjoy Podcast Party, please follow the show and leave us a review. We'd love to hear from you. Message us on social media or email us at info@cast-party.com. Follow us on Facebook at CastPartyDND, on Twitter at CastParty2, or on Instagram at cast_party. Thanks very much for listening, and now back to our adventure in Avernus.
So now that you guys are on the cusp of the cemetery, ominous as it is, what do you want to do?
Are those things undead?
This might be a good time for the dreidel.
Well, I'm pretty sure they're undead. I point to the writhing body parts.
Well, what I'm saying is, are there others that are all in one body that could attack us somewhere else that aren't right at this gate?
So here's the trouble with that. If they're hidden, it doesn't reveal them. It's just like with undead, what would be good is like if we saw a body lying there and we were worried it might get up and attack us, that would be a good time to use the dreidel. But if there's some undead and we can't, they're just hiding somewhere, the dreidel not going to tell me that.
Okay.
But could the dreidel like guide us through a clear path where, you know what I mean? How long does it last?
It's instantaneous, so it might be best to get inside first, but I'm wondering if there's some way. Do we have any other way to scout?
Well, we could go around.
Lulu kind of raises her trunk. I mean, I can fly up if you want.
Would that make you a target for, you know, whatever's creepy crawling out there?
I can handle myself. I'm all right.
Let me ask you this, Matt. Can we see... It's a chapel that you mentioned that was kind of glowing? Okay, what is between us and the chapel?
A gate that has been rent from its hinges and pulled onto the ground.
And beyond the gate?
Tons of tombstones. And beyond that, you're not quite sure because your perceptions are kind of hazy.
I'm plus 10 and I got a 12.
But we can see the chapel.
You definitely can see the chapel. You're pretty close to it.
So, damaged gate.
Mm-hmm.
Tombstones. Chapel.
Yeah.
Is there a path like that leads through the gate up to the chapel?
Yes.
There are other gaps in the fence, correct? Not just where the gate's fallen in?
Correct. They're smaller. They'd probably be able to fit one of you at a time.
Okay, so my suggestion is, like they always taught me at Ilmater's School for Friendless Boys, never go in the front door if you don't have to. So I say we go in through one of these gaps in the fence and then try to use the tombstones as cover and creep towards the chapel. That's the best I've got.
I think that's a very good idea.
Yeah, that's what I had in mind too.
I think it's good too. I was gonna say that if, like, these things all come at us, try to get as close to me as possible and let them get as close as they can, and then I might be able to just destroy them. I don't know, but I'll try. So just let them come in. I know that sounds like the wrong thing, but I think it could work.
Do you think we should, like, make a necklace out of these twitchy arms and stuff? Because, you know, what if they thought we were one of them, you know?
Lulu looks over at you, Hylan, and goes, that's real gross. Not liking that.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you're right.
We might want to poke them with a sword or something to make sure they can't reach us, you know?
So I look for a gap in the fence, Matt, that looks like it could accommodate us, even single file.
You do see one, yep.
Are there any of these flailing limbs like that look like they would be able to touch or reach us if we tried to pass through that gap?
The limbs that you see that are sort of struggling and squirming are at the top of the fence posts, and the fence posts are relatively tall. They are 10 feet high, so you assume that if you went through the hole in these fences that the arms would not be able to reach you unless somehow they were to pull themselves off of the off the fence posts.
So it's horrible, but I think we should try to do it without disturbing them. They might be some sort of alarm system or something.
Yeah.
So if we could just sort of slip through without attacking them or being touched by them, I think that would be ideal.
All right.
Do you think something like a mage hand could be useful in this situation?
A what now?
What I slapped the halfling with, remember?
Yes.
Oh, maybe.
Still feel kind of bad about that.
What'd you have in mind?
Well, I don't know. Perhaps we could try having the mage hand remove one so that if it does trigger some sort of alarm.
Again, I'd like to, if possible, just not have any contact with them at all.
Well, I guess then the best thing to do would be to just squeeze in between them.
Who's going first?
I'll go.
Oh,
all right.
Brave Hylan.
Who's after Hylan?
Corbin.
After Corbin?
I'll go next.
Ofelia? And Renascence or Reya taking up the rear?
I'll go after Ofelia.
All right.
I'm going to try to sneak, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and keep low.
Yep. Let's make some stealth checks.
Okay, I'll tell you what, Matt. I'm declaring that I am using my inspiration, right?
Excellent.
So that will negate my disadvantage on this roll.
Great.
Straight roll.
And then I will guidance myself.
And
okay, then.
Reya has guidance as well.
Ofelia rolled a 21.
Hylan got a 27.
Corbin got a 15.
Renascence with guidance got a 15.
Okay. The only person, unfortunately, who did poorly is Reya. She rolled a 6.
+4.
She rolled a 6.
Oh, God.
Damn it, Reya.
That's okay. Overall, group stealth checks as they are. The only clunk you hear is Reya as she tries to fit through these metal bars atop the fence post, but the rest of you are actually pretty darn quiet. And you come out on the other side of the chapel. The gate actually faces the main entrance to the chapel, but where you've decided to go in, you've gone around the back. There's another smaller building, actually, on the back of the chapel, maybe about 25 feet from the chapel itself. No windows, so you can't really see what's inside it, but you do see that there is a door to that particular building as well. The building's relatively small compared to the chapel, though. It's probably about 30 by 30 compared to the chapel, which is pretty darn enormous.
Is it a mausoleum?
You're not quite sure.
We think Duke Ravengard came here. Can we look around, see if we can see any signs?
Yeah, any footsteps or...
Yeah, people have been here recently.
Sure, it makes survival checks.
I will use guidance again.
Hylan got an 11.
Corbin got a 15.
Ofelia got a 19.
Renascence got a 13.
Ofelia, you are the first to sort of see in the dirt, as dry as it is, that there are several sets of footprints, actually, in this area.
Humanoid?
Well, you see that they're boots, so you can assume that they are humanoid, but something about them is very off. Normally, when you walk, you take steps, and you take a step, and you take another step. These steps are step, drag, drag, step, drag, step, drag.
Brains.
Could be someone with a limp.
Sure,
Probably a zombie, though.
Probably more like 10 people with limps, it seems.
That seems like too much of a coincidence to me.
The other thing that you notice is that there's another set of footprints that is definitely not humanoid. You see that these footprints in the dirt are like enormous hoof prints, about 7 or 8 inches in diameter.
Bigger than that horse dude?
They're not hoof prints that indicate a 4-footed animal.
So someone walking
on 2 legs with cloven hooves.
So Matt, I'm trying to figure out if I can discern what sort of a creature might have made those hoof prints.
Yeah, make an Arcana check, because no natural animal walks around on 2 legs with hoof prints.
Okay, Ofelia got an 18.
You are pretty darn sure, based on eliminating the impossible here, that these were probably made by minotaurs.
Wow. That's not good.
Right.
Not
So
great.
listen, I say we run the same play with these cows that we did in the temple underneath Van Thampa Villa. We look which way they're going and we follow them. That way, if they're a patrol, we won't run into them coming the other way.
Right.
I suppose that makes sense. Can I tell how recently these prints were made, Matt? Or like the most recent ones were made?
It's hard to discern, but I'll say, since there are at least 3, if not maybe more, of these sets of hoof prints, that they were made probably within the last couple of hours, actually.
Okay.
All right, so we'd like to follow the prints. Do they seem to be leading towards the buildings?
Yes.
Okay, so let's try to stealthily move in their tracks, so hopefully we don't bump into them face to face, and then see if they lead to an opening where we can get into either of these buildings.
Okay.
Are those windows open there?
They are, but there's glass all around the frames.
If we try to climb through, it would be tough.
It may be, yeah.
Can I see some doors in the smaller building?
You sure can. The building that you're closest to that has doors about 20 feet from you.
I cock my head to show everyone that I've spotted some doors in the smaller building.
Corbin will also cock his head and make like horns on his head and point around to the east where he thinks he's catching a glimpse through the building of what could possibly be a large hoofed creature with horns.
Uh-oh.
Okay, I gesture back to Corbin, like maybe we can take cover in the smaller building and avoid them.
Okay.
All right.
Corbin, since you did catch sight of something that seems to be resembling what Ofelia has been tracking, please make a perception check.
All right. I am plus 10 on perception, so this should be great. Last time I rolled a 12.
Oh, why did you say that?
24.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
This creature is a horned skeletal version of a minotaur.
Oh, great.
Oh.
Which brandishes an enormous great axe.
They're definitely minotaurs, but they've got no skin at all. So I don't like it.
I don't either. Let's go in here.
All right, let's hide in here.
You're going to go into the smaller building.
I'm gonna listen at the door. Okay.
Perception check, please, Hylan.
Corbin's going to keep a lookout to make sure one of these things doesn't come around the corner.
Just a point of order. We have Reya and Hulu. Hulu. Reya and Hulu.
Someone's been streaming too much TV.
Okay. Well, Hylan only got a 13.
Okay. You don't hear anything inside this door.
Okay, does it appear to be locked? Do I see a lock on it?
You do see a lock on it.
Okay, I will attempt to pick the lock.
I will give Hylan guidance.
So with guidance, that's a 23.
With ease, you pick this lock, Hylan, and you hear a click.
Oh, I love that sound. I will slowly push the door open and look in.
When you do so, you see that there is a very small space inside, a sparse room with a filthy cot that is the resting place of an individual who is asleep on that soiled cot. You also see a table nearby with a variety of, let's call them foodstuffs, but they're decomposing.
Oh.
The figure on the ground is asleep, you assume. Its eyes are closed.
I produce the dreidel and spin it.
Okay. When you spin the dreidel, it has a lot of energy behind it, and it spins with immense force and stops with the symbol for undead on it. Very strong undead presence.
Is it coming from this figure?
It is.
Careful, Hylan. It's undead.
The eyes of this figure flit open, And the figure sits up and says, "That's no way to talk about me, you know."
How would you have us talk about you?
Well, first I would like to know to whom I am speaking. And the eyes of this individual are glowing red.
Can I do an Arcana check to see if I know anything about what this sort of with the red eyes and the undead situation, is that some sort of a characteristic I recognize?
You could make a religion check if you're trying to discern something about it.
Yeah, who is this guy? Like, what is this guy, I guess, is really what I'm trying to...
Yeah.
I would like to step into this space and usher other people in with me. I don't think we should be standing around outside.
Okay.
I rolled a 9.
Okay. No idea.
Well, he seems more intelligent than most zombies, so there's that. I don't say that out loud. just to be clear. What I do say out loud is, well, my name is Ofelia. What is your name?
Don't tell him your name.
I'm afraid you already did, my tall friend.
Names are powerful down here. Corbin holds out his symbol on his shield.
Well, it's not my full name.
The figure looks at you, Corbin, and then the rest of you and says, No. There's no need for any of that. I've chosen my path, and there's no need to try to rebuke me. After all, we are on the same side.
What path have you chosen?
The path of righteousness.
We've come here looking for the Grand Duke, Ulder Ravengard.
The figure gracefully stands up, and you see that he's a tall, dark-skinned man. He has long, dark hair, a beautiful, light blue tunic. I'll describe the room as well. The furniture, most of it has actually been destroyed, it looks like. You see that there are decorations and other items strewn haphazardly around the room, including holy symbols of the same that you saw on the chapel: Lathander, Torm, Helm, Tyr. There's a book on the table next to where this figure is standing. It's a rather large tome. It sits open at the center of this partially collapsed desk. And the figure bows to you and says, "My name is Gideon Lightward."
Does he seem to be wearing a holy symbol of Lathander?
He sure does.
You're a priest of Lathander?
He says, "I was at one time, yes."
What happened to you when the city fell?
My lady saved me.
What have you been doing since?
I have been here, preventing the incursion of demonic forces.
Who's your lady?
I do not know if you would prefer I spoke her name. I choose not to.
Speak it.
He walks right up next to you, Corbin, and says, "My lady, Zariel." At which point, Lulu says, What? What do you mean? What are you talking about?"
He could be lying. You don't know that's true. Don't get upset. No, he could be lying.
You see her trunk starting to flit back and forth, and she flies over to the other side of the room and sort of sits down on the floor, and she starts talking to herself, and she's like, wait. No, this don't make no sense. Zariel, no, and she takes her trunk and she starts to rub her head. And she's like, "Oh, girls, they're coming back. I can remember things now. Oh, no.
I'm going to go over to her and try to hold her a little bit. I'm just saying, it's okay, we're here with you. Nothing can hurt you. And I'm just going to cast light and hold it near her so she can feel the same light that she can make. She knows where it comes from.
I keep my eyes on this Gideon Lightward. See how he seems to be reacting to this.
He's just staring at Lulu. He's not doing or saying anything, almost like he's intrigued by her.
I say, you said demonic incursions.
Well, yes, of course.
Not devils.
No.
There are demons here.
There are. There is a portal in the chapel.
I see. And your lady has asked you to deal with these demons, is that it?
She has. She has entrusted that rather important task to me and to my friends.
You didn't answer my question about the Grand Duke Ulder Ravengard. Have you seen him here in your cemetery?
He looks at you for a second and he says, there have been others who have come to the chapel. Yes.
Where are they now?
I do not know.
Where did you see them last?
Well, I saw them sneaking about. I assume that my friends frightened them away, as we have work to do.
Who are your friends and where are they?
He smiles at you and he says, I have many friends. More every day, in fact.
You think your lady would be happy you were laying down sleeping on a bed? On the job?
He looks at you and he says, I don't sleep any longer.
Well, it seems there's no need for you or us to be at cross purposes. We are looking for Ulder Ravengard. We believe him to be here, somewhere in your cemetery. We've certainly no love for demons. You're here trying to keep them out. Perhaps we can be of some assistance if you'll allow us to conduct our search.
Oh, well, if you are intent on stopping the demonic incursion of Elturel at all costs, then you are welcome to search the grounds, as well as venture deeper into the cellar, if you so desire, the ossuary.
That's the larger building? I sort of point to the outside to the larger building that we saw.
He nods.
And you'll inform your friends that we have your permission to explore.
Oh, yes. But you must, of course, take an oath.
That's problematic.
Yeah, I don't think we should do that.
Are you here only to slay demons and to find your missing compatriot?
Remember your prayer, Ren.
We're here to find the Duke and his companions, and certainly we're willing and able to slay any demons we encounter during the course of our search.
Yes.
In the cemetery.
Excellent. So then I have your oath, then.
No oath.
Then I'm afraid we are at an impasse.
I mean, what is the wording of this oath you're mentioning?
Don't make a deal. Don't do it.
I'm just asking what it is.
The oath is that you are here for the purposes that you have described, and none other than that.
And if we break that oath?
Well, then there would be repercussions.
Like what?
My lady shall decide that when the time comes. She doesn't like deal breakers.
I don't like deals.
He smiles at you. Lulu has calmed down, and for the first time, Hylan, you look at her, and her eyes are welling with tears. And she looks up at you and she says, oh my goodness. I remember. Zariel, my love.
Yes?
My dearest friend. She was captured, and she told me to hide something. A weapon, her sword. Yes, it's coming back to me now. She told me to hide her sword so it wouldn't fall into evil hands. Someone help me to hide the sword. I don't remember who. We found a place to hide it.
Don't say where you hid it yet, okay?
Don't say where.
Not while we're here, okay, Lulu? It's good to remember, though. Try to remember.
Oh, I don't remember. I don't remember where.
Okay.
And then she stops talking.
Gideon, I'm prepared to accept your offer.
He holds out his hand.
I take it.
His nails are long and sharp, and they dig into the flesh of your hand. And he draws blood. And then he takes the other of his two hands and uses his nails to rend his own flesh on the hand shaking yours.
I don't like this.
And you feel in the hand gripping his a tingling sensation, and then it's gone.
Thanks for listening. This episode featured the Dungeon Master stylings of Matt Gordon, with Andy Cannistra as Painbearer Corbin Shiv, Carolyn Fox as Hylan, Rachel Tamarin as Ofelia, and me, Tal Aviezer, as Renascence. This episode was edited by Carolyn Fox and me. Our original theme music is by Lauren Anker and Anthony DeMasso. Some sound effects in this episode are courtesy of Syrinscape. Remember, if you enjoy Podcast Party, please follow the show, rate us, and leave us a review. Thanks very much for listening. We'll be back in 2 weeks with the next episode.
All right. What do you guys want to do?
Let's go get that sword. No, totally kidding. Corbin's not smart.